Man, I've been saying for the last few shows that I'm okay with everybody coping, man. Everybody's dealing with everything that's going on differently. The team that started off second in the West for most of the season, and now we're in the play-in, right? Like we falling all the way out, free falling, man. With only I think 6 games ago, 7 games ago, 6 games ago, yeah. So I'll allow people to cope, but with that, with the coping that people are doing, there's something that people are doing where they're kind of like uh, reversing history. Like they're changing. They're saying things that are false that used to be true and true that used to be false, right? And I'll say this: something that people are saying a lot that I can't co-sign. I just can't get with it is this thing of we're just not good enough, or like we just don't have the
That's
talent, or we just don't have the
yeah.
roster. I remember having this show with you, Kenny Stubblefield, and my good friend Jacob Gilliard, former Memphis Grizzlies player Jacob Gilliard, was on here, right? And we had this topic that just really went everywhere. It was big on Twitter. It was big on this show. How do you cut this team to if everybody's healthy? How do you cut this down to a 10-man rotation? Not nine, not eight. How do you cut down to 10? And we were stumped. We were like, man, how do you do this, man? Like, what do you do with Jay Huff? And, it's like, it's crazy. Like, we just had these long discussions about this, right? And now all of a sudden, we just don't have depth. Like, we're just not good. We don't have the talent. We're just not a good team. And I'm just not there, man. I think that people misunderstand one thing. I'm a type of person who I wholeheartedly believe that the role of a coach is overrated in the NBA. I think it's a very overrated position. But if there's like coaching malpractice going on, like coaching idiocy, that can absolutely ruin a good team. I don't really care what you feel about coaching. If you got a guy there that's like, for instance, those Los Angeles Clipper teams, right? When they had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, uh, DeAndre Jordan. If you go back to that team that beat us that first year in the playoffs, right? That first year, that first Clippers, first Lob City team. Go look at that team, bro. Go look at the depth that was on that team. The guys were on that team. Vinny Del Negro was an idiot. He was the coach of that team. And he's the reason why that team did not get to where they need to be. Poor coaching, bro. Like that go back to that first year Clippers team. Look at their bench. That team had Nick Young on it. That team had Nick Young,
Jamal Crawford.
uh, Jamal Crawford was on that team, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Eric Bledsoe was on that team.
Yep.
Um,
I'm trying to
what's
think.
the other guy? What's the other
What
guy that's on Gilbert Arenas podcast? Um,
was Kenyon Martin on that team?
Kenyon Martin was on that team, and the other big that was bald headed dude that got all the offensive rebounds. That team was good, bro. That team had a lot of talent. They were very deep. Um, bad, horrible coaching malpractice. Uh, that alone is what like, and then to go from that, and
They
then
had, they
we
had
talked
Lamar. They had Lamar Odom on that team.
the first year team.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead.
you're good. So what I'm saying is this: we talked about this earlier, where you have a team with the Grizzlies who were. Have you ever seen a lady that's in an abusive relationship but doesn't realize she's truly in an abusive relationship? I don't mean physically abusive, like where a guy is like manipulating her. Like a guy is like,
Oh, yeah.
I could think of an example of that right now.
Me too.
Somebody that I quasi work with, that I'm seeing a weird manipulative relationship happen with this person. But the point I'm trying to make is with our team, our guys didn't realize. A lot of people saying this now. Like those guys like Taylor, but they also didn't realize that Taylor. They could also didn't realize that Taylor wasn't the guy they needed to get to where they need to go, or they may have realized there was a separation between the two, but they still just like Taylor. So it's like I don't
Right.
want Taylor to be gone, even though I feel like he ain't that dude. So you had that going on. You also had super weird things going uh, with the style of play that just didn't line up. John Morant was not happy. John Morant was not healthy. John Morant has missed 30 something games out of 75 this year. He's played like 40 games. He's played like pretty much a little bit over half the season, right? Uh, that's major, but like that's not a small thing. If SGA only played 40 games this year, the Oklahoma City Thunder would not be the number one team in the West, right? If whoever you're talking about, whatever top team, Boston, Jason Tatum plays as many games as Ja, they would not be as good as they are now. Ja has missed a lot of games for this team. Um, that's just not a good thing, bro. and then two of your major rotation guys, two guys that were the absolute bright spots in the season last year. There was absolute shit. Two of your bright spots, Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson, two guys you expected to be a big part of whatever we're doing this year, did not happen for several reasons. And one of those is not because they can't play basketball, but the main reason is that both of those guys missed training camp. Those guys have played 25 and 27 games this season,
Yeah.
Respectively. Like 25 and 27 is the amount of games those two guys have played. And Gigi Jackson has been available for games he ain't even played in. You know what I mean? Like those guys' season was washed out. You know what I mean? Like it's just flat out washed out. And you lose Brandon Clark in the middle of all this. It's just so much crazy stuff that has happened this year, right? And then you've had what we find out is a front office and a coaching staff at war with each other the entire time that we didn't even know this is going on,
Yeah.
except for people like myself who use
Who called it the entire time?
the detective agency, Negro detective agency type stuff to figure out what was going on. But what we see now, man, like however the season ends up, is going to take a off season. It's going to take a training camp. It's going to take Ja getting his body together. It's going to take Vince getting his body together. Gigi getting his body together. Whatever Brandon Clark is going to be. Jaren getting back in the lab again. It's going to take these guys getting to Memphis early, and getting some of the coach's notes and running some of his stuff or doing what he wants to do. It's going to take Ja and Edie getting together again. But nobody's going to tell me that this team lacks talent, bro. I'm just not buying it. Can you say that they're young? Fuck yeah. Like they're young in some really key positions, right? But you can't tell me that Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, Zach Edey aren't high level rotation players. You know what I mean? And that's something. And there are people are saying like we don't have time to wait 2 or 3 years for these guys to be ready. And I'm like, who said you'd have to wait that long? Like most guys, they take that leap in year 2. They take that leap in year 3. Gigi's about to go into his 3rd season next year, right? Vince is about to go into his 4th. Wells and Edey are about to go into year 2. Desmond Bane took a big leap between rookie year and sophomore.
Oh, yeah.
Santi Aldama took a big leap between rookie year and second year. John Morant took a big leap between rookie year, second year. Jaren was hurt for his 2nd and 3rd seasons, but Jaren's 4th season compared to his 1st season looks totally different. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like if a guy's a good player, that 2nd year is going to be a nice little leap. So I'm expecting those guys to be much better players. Like I'm expecting Jalen Wells to realize, damn, bro, like this season, that at 82 hit different than at 30, bro. Like for real. Like my body I really got to get my body in A shape to be able to do this thing, called the NBA. And I'm expecting that to happen. Like I don't on what world do I see guys 3 guys, Gigi Jackson, 2nd team all rookie. Jalen Wells is probably going to be 1st team all rookie. Zach Edey's probably going to be 2nd team all rookie. Should have been fucking rookie of the year if we had used him like we had a brain. But since when? Why would I predict those 3 that level of talent not to be good, not to be even better next year? Like why would I predict them not to be ready? You know what I mean? So I think that with the talent we have, this team's going to be good.